Fight man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
All right, man. So Shakur did an interview with brother Greg Hackett, and he talked about a couple of things. You know, one of the things that caught my eye was that he basically said that, you know, boxing should have one belt. He talked about Jaron taking on Vergil Ortiz. That's who he should fight. So let's talk about the one belt thing. It's worked wonders in the UFC. And also the UFC pretty much being under the Dana White dictatorship also helps when you don't have multiple companies. Why you got multiple belts is because, you know, for the most part, money. Even multiple belts have multiple belts. So, you know, a lot of times when you used to see the WBC order like a fight like Tim Bradley and Errol Spence, and they order these fights between cross-promotional companies and as final title eliminators, and even some of these, you know, sanctioned belt bodies would, you know, order title shots, and these guys will just ignore it, drop the belt, don't want to fight. So yeah, the sanctioned belt body's gonna go where the money at. So when these guys stop wanting to participate in the mandated or the order fights, guess what happened? The sanctioned belt bodies, you know, say, you know what, let's come up with the regular, the silver, the diamond. That way we can continue to get money from Top Rank, PBC, Queensberry, Matchroom, you know, Samson Boxing, you know, so that way they can always continue to get money from multiple companies. When they did these orders, you know, this will make a particular fighter in the company look bad. So they was like, you know what, you know, let's just start doing multiple belts to multiple belts so we can keep the money coming in and keep everybody happy. That's pretty much what happened. So, and then while you got multiple belts, it's just money. You know, it's multiple incomes, it's multiple money. So it's just like, okay, the WBA was the original belt. You know, WBC said, let's get in on this. IBF said, let's get in on this. So everybody wanted to get in on the act. So it's lucrative. It ain't really sanctioned by nobody. You know, it ain't sanctioned by nobody. So it's the Wild Wild West. You know, a few times, you know, sanctioning bodies and got, you know, sued, and a lot of the times when they got sued, it was just to the point where they just filed bankruptcy, whether it was selling ranking in spots, whether it was, you know, skipping over other champions for, you know, opportunities, or, you know, whatever the situation may have been. You know, so and that's what it was. You know, but in theory, he's right. The best would have to fight the best. But these companies would just create their own belts at that point. You know? And Shakur is speaking from a place of frustration. That's what he's speaking on. He's speaking on a place of frustration. That's all he's speaking on. He's speaking from a place of frustration. Real talk. That's exactly what it is. Like, yeah, I wanted to be one belt because I want to get opportunities. I want to show to the world that I'm the best fighter going. You know? And you can't do that if other people don't participate. You know, a lot of guys wait to get an email belt. A lot of guys waited for the weakest guy to get the belt. And then they wanted to challenge for it. And then these sanctioned belt bodies scared to order real mandatories. And the titles that you get, you know, it's like the Better BF fight versus the Eifer guy. A guy that literally nobody knows of. You know? Literally a guy that nobody knows of. Those are the type of title orders you get because guess what? You know, more than likely, you know, God's going to take that fight. Because it's financially easy to do. It's a tune-up. But when it comes to ordering the Shakurs and Gervontas and all that, that gets too political. Bunch of politics. A bunch of politics. So in theory, he's right. You know, it should be one belt, one face, one name. But in boxing, you know, these dudes don't want to fight the best regardless, so they probably would just ignore the one belt altogether. But there's too much money to be made in the sport that's not regulated, and they can make and break the rules as they go, and get and not get held responsible. And even if they do get held responsible, they wave the white flag, they file bankruptcy, and do the shit over again. And they do the shit over again. So, you know, like I continue to say, you know, it sounds good. It sounds really, really good. You know, but in reality, it ain't reality. Unregulated sport. You can test hot as much as possible. Still be in the game. You can do anything you want to. And still be in the game. You know what I mean? Son. But yeah, let's talk about him talking about Vergil and Jaron Ennis. And Shakur said he thinks Jaron should move up to 54 and fight Vergil. And I think most people would say, man, that fight deserved to be a unification or at least a belt to be on the line. But you know what? We need to get back to those contender fights. You know, he's about to fight Tim Zuffa without a belt. So yeah, we need to get back to those contender fights. Y'all small fries and chicken tenders. We eat chicken tenders out here. We need to get back to wings, bone-in wings. A real man food. You know? So I think he right. They need to get back to making those type of fights where you earning the title fight. And unfortunately, you know, Vergil never had a title and Jaron did. But it's a fight that a lot of people wanted to see. It was a fight that went back and forth. Boots had a pedestrian performance versus Jerkichan. Then the Vergil people said, oh, you kill him. And then Vergil had a pedestrian performance versus Boca. Oh, Boots will kill him. So, you know, it's a fight that, you know, a lot of people will want to see. And, you know, the way Vergil Ortiz's career been going with illnesses and ups and downs, you know, it's one that you might want to get out the way. And I hear in the video, obviously, Oscar talking about he want to fight Earl for Vergil or Jamil for Vergil. Understandably so. You know, you want that Boots fight to be for the pinnacle, black and brown, and all that type of stuff. But we not sure if them dudes going to be there at the end. 54, everybody get knocked off. You know? Fondora got knocked off, came back, you know. Back around Mazaliev, he here. Boca got knocked off and bounced back. You know, I feel like he beat Vergil. Dreamall going to bounce back, so it's a tough division. You know? But for them to fight, I mean, you know, Greg Hackett said, you know, he don't think, you know, Vergil can take the shit that Boots is dishing. But the also question is, can Boots take what Vergil dishing? No, did he? You know, because Vergil can punch too, so it's one of the better fights on paper. I mean, that's why some people was so happy to see Vergil and Tim too. It kind of gave bigger vibes than that, but it was an exciting fight. You know, it was a very, very exciting fight, man. And I think Shakur was spitting pure facts on them two subjects. One belt and one ranking it, one top 15 ranking it will do boxing justice. Real talk. It'll do boxing justice. And Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis will do boxing justice. I think a lot of brothers will want to see that fight. You know, two power punching, gifted fighters. You know, so it was a fight that people was talking about next up at welterweight. Vergil outgrew 140, outgrew 147. So be it. He's a growing man. But that's one of the fights that a lot of people have been salivating over. For real. So, I mean, you know, bro, you know, Shakur spitting some pure facts right there. And the sport would be so much better if guys fought the best consistently. And it's okay to lose. You know, it's okay to lose, man. That's what's going to come with the territory. And I'm going to talk about them telling Tim Tszyu he should retire. I'm going to speak on that. So, but, yeah, I would love to see one belt in boxing. That's not going to happen. I would love to see Vergil and Jaron. That's more likely to happen. and that's a good fight. Anything can happen when you put 10 ounces on them brothers at 154, and they both can punch. You know, and Vergil defense is improving. Jaron defense is good, but you know, I think if he don't want to get hit, it's hard to hit him. But he's so offensive that, you know, how Vergil will beat him is punching with him. That's the ticket. That's how you beat him, is punching with him. Yeah, punch with him. But not everybody got that skill set. You know what I mean, son? So, yeah, man, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, the subscribe button, hit the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video financially. Want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good313, Venmo, CJ Good313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree, find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon Music, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. I appreciate y'all for supporting me on there. One time, Good Fella TV. Peace.